All right, folks, first pawn shop of the day. Games are about $8 here, so we're looking for anything that goes for a little bit more than that. Devil May Cry might. I don't think The Last Guardian does. Chronos I'm not sure about. And I actually don't recognize this. Killing Floor 2. We'll look that up as well. Today we're going to 3 big city pawn shops and 3 small town ones. And we're going to answer the age-old question of who has better video games. This Chronos is going to be $8 and we can make $3 on it after fees. And Devil May Cry here should bring us 6, not too bad. This here is our first big city pawn shop, and it looks like in their glass case here they've got a mix of like retro and modern stuff. A bunch of loose Switch games here. Actually, a couple of Japanese import N64. Kind of cool to see, but those honestly are not worth anything. Nothing really interesting in the NES or Super NES titles, but they've got these black GameCube controllers at 30 a piece. If they would do 20 a piece on those, I could actually have a little bit of room to profit. Well, folks, the big city pawn shops are officially on the board. 2 games for $9 profit. Let's get to the next one. I was actually in this pawn shop a couple weeks ago. It's the other Dan's location in town, so I'm curious to see whether we can actually find some new stuff here. All right, heading to the game section in the back corner. Big money, big money. We got Blu-rays. Okay, a good number of Wii games over here. Got PS3, PS2, tons of sports stuff, which is definitely not what you want to see. Not great so far. Okay, looks like these PS3 games, oh, okay. Fight Night Round 3, I think actually does go for something, and I want to say that these games are like $3 or less, maybe even as low as $1. DJ Hero, no. Ooh, I want to say this one actually is worth at least like $5. I'm gonna look these up though. Okay, so this is my Amazon seller app. Yeah, check that out. $11 after fees on this IL2 Sturmovik game. I know I've sold this before. Fight Night Round 3. Let's see if this will scan just from reading the disc here. Okay, it was close. It brought up the PSP version. Okay, I take it back. $2.81 after fees. We'll leave that one. Now that I think about it, this Warhawk, speaking of plain games, I don't know if this is one that I've ever really sold before. Maybe it's just because it's not worth anything. Used condition. Okay, $2 after fees. Yeah, we'll leave that. And I guess, you know what, now that we're on a roll with the plain games, may as well scan this one. Used condition. Oh, okay, I stand corrected. -63 cents. Goodbye. Vacation Isle Beach Party. That's interesting. I've heard really good things about parties. I would love to go to one day.
Nobody even wants you here.
All right, so we've got the glass case up here and the very loud copyrighted music in the background. Are you guys seeing anything here that goes for over like $10 or so? I'm not seeing a ton, and I'm fairly sure that the pricing on these is $10 a piece, so I'm not super optimistic. Oh, that's cool though. I rarely see the Mario Edition Switches. That's pretty sweet. Oh, no way. Look at this. A Fortnite Edition Switch. I almost never see those at pawn shops. Looks like it's priced the same as the normal ones too. That's actually super interesting. And look at this, they've even got the Animal Crossing Edition Switch right there, and then very subtly, a couple of like third-party Joy-Cons in the exact same color on this front unit. Can you guys spot the difference between those? Okay, check this out though, folks. I found the clearance section up here of video games. We've got a few interesting things. One is a PS4 for $200. That one's probably slightly high for me, but look at this. We've got $114 on an old model Xbox One. Similar prices on these, and most interesting, look at this. This is a Switch Lite. I don't know if it has the charger with it, but it's been marked down to $109. I wouldn't be surprised if I could get them to negotiate a little bit on that as well, especially if it doesn't have a charger. And check that out. I just looked it up on Amazon. I should be able to get at least $170 for that after fees. Just gonna have to see if it works well. So folks, the bad news is, try as I might, she could not give me a discount on the 109 because it was already clearance. However, she did go ahead and throw the game in for free, which should put me at a total of about $65 profit for this stop, or $74 in total for the big cities. But first, folks, I've got to let you know that this video's sponsor, Micro Center, is your one-stop shop for all of your computer and electronics needs. From video games to computers to TVs to headsets, Micro Center has it all. One of their best features is that you can build your own PC by coming in store and talking to one of their lovely associates, or using their online PC builder tool online. And if you like free stuff as much as I do, you can submit your PC build to their website, be featured on the site, and get a free in-store coupon upon approval. And folks, as a special offer to our viewers, you can get the Creality Pro 3D printer half off by using a coupon that's linked in my description and coming to one of their 25 stores. Thanks a bunch to Micro Center for sponsoring this video. Spanky, what are you doing with a cart full of keyboards, dude?
I do a lot of typing.
So the third big city pawn of the day, I'm actually very interested in because it looks like it's changed ownership. You can see it's now called First Cash Pawn. It used to actually be called Mr. Money, which weirdly enough is actually what my wife calls me.
I like money.
But I'm curious to see if it looks very different inside. And oh yeah, it looks like they've got some new shelves and everything. DVDs are something that honestly I don't put enough effort into because there can be a lot of money in them if you know what you're looking for. It looks like these ones aren't necessarily those. Let's see if there's the prices on any of these. Ooh, this is a good one. Their modern game section though was honestly one of the best I've seen. They had a ton of Xbox and PlayStation games, and they actually had a packed Switch section as well. Unfortunately, they were all individually priced and there weren't any great deals to be had, but then I spied the multiple Switch lights that they had on top and noticed that one of the gray ones was underpriced and another one was actually the Pokemon edition. And the Pokemon ones are a little bit more valuable than regular, but it was priced as normal, so I knew I had to haggle on that one. Oh man, folks, that was easily our best stop of the day. Let me break it down. So the first thing that I bought was the sealed Sports Party on Switch. It was marked at 25, but I only paid 20, which I didn't look up beforehand, so it was honestly kind of a bit of a risk. We're gonna look this up together and see if it was worth it. The next thing I picked up was this gray Switch light because I saw that it was priced at 119 bucks. And I asked her if she could do any better on it because at the last stop, I already knew what my margins would be. Offered $100 and she said, yeah, that works. And I was like, heck yes. But then things got really interesting because at first when I saw this Switch light, I assumed that it just had some replacement thumb covers on it. But when I turned it around, I realized it was the Pokemon edition, priced at $139. I asked if they could do $110 and she said, you know what? If you buy both of them, I'd give you both for $200 or $100 a piece. So we had a total of 220 bucks into everything here, and the craziest thing is I'll get that back on just the Pokemon Switch Lite. Also, I didn't even mention she threw in 2 completely free Switch cases, which was super nice. But let's look up this Sports Party real quick and figure out what our actual profit is going to be. Okay, so we'll scan that with the seller app. We're going to be looking at new condition because it's sealed. Sports Party new, okay, $19. So we're actually losing $1 on that game. Live and learn there, but we are profiting $170 on that stop, making it the best one of the day and putting the big city grand total at 244 if my math is right.
I know what this moment means. It means Caleb wants me to go back and look at the footage and add up the money. I'm not doing it. It's going to be what you said it is.
Now folks, I know what you're thinking, and I'm allowed sometimes to not eat Chipotle, all right? Every once in a while I'll get a little Chick-fil-A in me, but that said, Chipotle, if you guys are watching, if you want to sponsor me, I will literally never go into Chick-fil-A again. Folks, I'd like to welcome you to the small town of Nicholasville, Kentucky, where weirdly enough, they have one pawn shop right here and another one right here. We'll have to drive all the way to the other side of the town to get to the last pawn shop of the day, but I'm honestly most excited for that one. I think it's time for the small town to get on board. Alright, so we have a solid PS4 section here. I'm not really seeing any Switch games. Do have some Xbox Ones over here, looks like we're looking at $14.99 for Xbox One and PS4 games, which honestly is pretty high at this point given that they're a generation old now, especially for stuff like this. I mean, old NBA and Madden games, and you can kind of tell like this is like a less than $5 game. Oh, this one apparently might be cheaper, or maybe that's just an old sticker. Yeah, almost all these games are honestly worth like $5 or less. These Wii games, on the other hand, are worth $2 or less. That's actually kind of interesting. PlayStation 4 Media Remote. Looks like they've got $19 on it. Let's see what it goes for on Amazon. It's not actually coming up. This must not actually be official. And unfortunately, really not seeing anything of much interest in the Xbox section either. Well, folks, a big old goose egg for the first small town shop, but it's like my parents always said.
You're adopted!
If at first you don't succeed, have another kid. That's, I was the firstborn, so. So folks, this pawn shop had an amazing selection, but at first I was a little bit bummed out because it looked like all of their video games were individually priced, which makes it harder to find really good deals. I kept looking and I did see a good number of cool consoles. They had some Switch systems, which were really interesting. And the first thing that caught my eye was actually a couple of fat PlayStation 3 consoles, because if you can find the backwards compatible ones that have 4 USB ports, those are actually worth like $250. On a higher shelf, they actually did have a backwards compatible one, but it was priced appropriately appropriately, but just when I was about to give up hope on this stop, I spotted a few Switch games that were slightly underpriced, so I thought I would see if I could get a little better deal. If I picked up both of these, do you think you guys could do 20 apiece? Or both of them and a controller?
Let's see. Yeah, let's go 20, 20, and 20.
Great, that'd be awesome, thank you.
Perfect.
Appreciate that. Folks, I have to admit, at first when I walked in there, I didn't think I'd be coming out with anything, but the longer I looked, the more I realized that the opportunity was there. Let me fill you in. People. 2 first-party Nintendo Switch games for 20 bucks a piece. You cannot make this stuff up. As you can see on Amazon, we're looking at like $11 and $14 profit a piece on these, but weirdly enough, the best find of the stop was actually this PowerA Super Mario Bros. 3 controller. After a little bit of sweet talking, she agreed to give it to me for $20, and it looks like on Amazon it should get me $66 after fees for being in brand new condition. So that puts Small Towns at what, like $71, and honestly kind of back in the race going into this last pawn shop, Dan's Discount in Nicholasville. Gotta be honest, I'm kind of rooting for the Small Towns at this point. I mean, who doesn't love an underdog story? What do you think, Editor Riff?
I fully agree with you, Caleb. I'm all in favor of underdog stories. In fact, a great underdog story would be if my channel, Pixel Game Squad, passed you up in subscribers. Please, guys, I'll give away like $6 million to orphans.
Well, folks, they definitely have a decent, like, Xbox 360 and somewhat older games section here. Not really seeing anything that is catching my eye too much. Most of this looks pretty picked over, I would say. Midnight Club Los Angeles actually might be worth looking up, especially, yeah, it looks like it is complete in there, so I'll check that one out. Definitely a good number of DVD. What in the world? Reseller Squirtle? What the heck are you doing here, man?
Do you want to buy Pokemon Blue?
I'm not really seeing a price for these anywhere. I just saw the DVDs, but yeah, it looks like at $3 after fees. I'm just gonna pass on that. Oh, check this out though, folks. Texas Chainsaw Massacre Blu-ray, 20 bucks after fees. Let's go. Wow, 150 for white too. That's wild. Oh dang, they priced up the Luigi edition. I don't know if that's Luigi or Zelda. The Luigi or Zelda edition 2DS there. Not really seeing anything super underpriced in the glass case section either. I actually may end up making a play on this guy though. It looks like it is fairly valuable at $176 after fees. I was looking at this green 2DS down here. Does this have the charger with it and everything? Okay. I always like to turn these on and make sure that they work before I leave the store with them. Nice. That does, okay. Looks like it works good. Do you know if y'all have any wiggle room on the price right now? 110? That sounds good with me. What about this game right here? Do y'all have any wiggle room on that one?
I'll do 15 for you.
Okay. I'd go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Appreciate that. So folks, we'll be profiting $65 on this Zelda 2DS, another 20 bucks on Texas Chainsaw, but the real question mark is this Blue Dragon, because I didn't even look it up before buying it for 15.
Does that say what I think it says?
Okay, Blue Dragon Plus, holy cow. 62 after fees. Looks like realistically probably more like 40, but still, that's crazy. But unfortunately, folks, even with the $25 profit, that unfortunately was not enough to compete with the big city pawns. If you guys want to watch the first time I ever did this experiment, check out this video right down here. The results may shock you, and I will catch you guys on the flip.